You're watching WDAY Extra.
This morning, there's already snow moving across parts of South Dakota into southwestern Minnesota. I've been keeping a close eye on this morning. We do have a little drier air up in our area and up to our north and east, and it's kind of holding off the snow this morning for a while. Eventually, this will move in. It looks like later on tonight, especially into tomorrow, we'll eventually see some more snow. It is going to be kind of lifting into the region. Multiple weather headlines here this morning with blizzard warnings over parts of South Dakota, western and southwestern Minnesota. Winter storm warnings and watches still in effect, just meaning this whole area is going to get snow along the way. Quick look at that futurecast here. It is going to kind of slowly move in as we continue later on tonight and tomorrow. I'll be going over more of this on First News, which starts right now.
You're watching WDAY First News, the news leader.
This is First on First News. A city administrator is without a job this morning after he says he was discriminated against. How the city of Ada is responding to that accusation.
And plan some extra time in case of a chaotic commute this morning. We're taking you to a detour route in Grand Forks now that Point Bridge is shut down.
And I'll tell you what to expect from live SWAT training later today in North Fargo.
And First News is taking you to New York City this morning, where a state of emergency has been declared due to a measles outbreak. We'll tell you the measures city leaders are putting in place to stop that epidemic.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us on this Wednesday, April 10th. It's just after 5 o'clock. I'm Sarah Redling.
And I'm Rob Manch. And the Valley is holding its breath this morning as our WDAY Storm Tracker team is tracking the movement of a storm that could turn into spring winter. How are things looking, Jerry?
Well, things have looked better, I know, in the forecast, but it does look like this is going to lift into our area. I know yesterday we were kind of hinting at it could lift a little bit farther northward, and it seems to be the track it's going to be taking. This morning, snow was across northern South Dakota into eastern South Dakota, spreading into southwestern Minnesota. It should hold kind of in this area throughout the day ahead. By later on tonight, it'll start to move into the very southern tier of the Red River Valley, and then tomorrow, by tomorrow morning, I think a lot of us could at least have some snow along the way here. Multiple weather headlines. I was just talking about that. The strongest hit area of our region is going to be eastern South Dakota into western and southwestern Minnesota, where we do have the blizzard warning. It's going to be that orangish red shaded area. We're going to have a lot of very heavy snow and very strong winds. So it's going to be extremely difficult for travel. Up into our area, the pink shaded area, that's a winter storm warning, where we're going to have some higher accumulations of snow, especially in the southern half of the valley. Just a quick look at futurecasts here. Today we should stay pretty dry. I got this pause at 5 p.m. So just south of our area, kind of moving into Sisseton, but by tomorrow morning, we could already start to see some snow for that morning commute from Fargo Moorhead to the south, and it does include Lakes Country, Minnesota. So what we know right now about this snowstorm, this is going to be a Thursday, Friday situation for us up here in the northern, or in the Red River Valley. We are going to have measurable snow. It could be some pretty high amounts out there across parts of the region, some blowing snow. Still in question is the exact track of this storm, and then, of course, trying to narrow down how much snow each part of the valley will end up seeing here and how much wind we're going to have. But it is going to be tough going for much of the area for Thursday into Friday. When I come back here in a little bit, I'll be going over today's weather, and of course I will continue to keep track of that storm system for Thursday and Friday.
Well, the commute is going to be a lot more hectic this morning in Grand Forks.
The Point Bridge closed yesterday. That means all 35,000 cars that cross the Red River each day in Grand Forks have to use the Kennedy Bridge. Usually 14,000 cars use it daily. During rush hour, drivers say it takes a good extra 20 minutes to get around. Most realize there's little that can be done. The Red River is not expected to crest until this weekend in Grand Forks. However, the Sorley and Point Bridges won't reopen right away. They still need to be inspected.
Drivers in northwest Minnesota are having a difficult time getting to some areas because of overland flooding. Water in Norman County is now covering highways just south of Halstead, Minnesota. Highway 75 is closed because of floodwaters there. The only way to get into Halstead right now is to come in from the north. The road will be closed south from Halstead to around Hendrum. WDAY News learned the water level has gone up nearly 12 feet in just the last week.
And right now, County Road 18 is closed north of Ada because of a bridge collapse.
Snow melt, runoff, and ice are all blamed for taking out this bridge about 8 miles from Ada. The bridge collapsed Monday night, and the sheriff's office says there's water on several roads in the area. You are encouraged to find an alternate route.
And it's official, 2019 will now go down as a record for a top 10 crest in the Red River for Fargo Moorhead. The National Weather Service says it crested at 35.03 feet Monday night. It's now officially receding slowly. It's the 10th highest in Fargo-Moorhead's history and the highest level since the flood of 2011. The red is expected to stay at about 30 feet in major flood stage for the next week. And the Red River Valley SWAT team is training in North Fargo later today, and that could affect your commute home.
And WDAY News reporter Bailey Verton is joining us live this morning to tell us what to expect from the scene. Good morning, Bailey.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Sarah. I'm right near 7th Avenue North in the 1100 block, where in just a few hours, this area is going to be filled with law enforcement for their training. They're going to be conducting a live training operation around this area. It's going to be between 5 and 9:30 tonight. But really, the only time that you need to worry about is between 7 and 9 o'clock when they're going to start shutting down roads just to make sure they have that space to practice. They're also going to be carrying firearms. They want to let homeowners know this because their firearms, while they are real, they do not carry live ammunition. They will be unloaded, and so police really want to make sure that people understand that if you are in this area or if you live in this area, there will be law enforcement. They will be carrying guns and they will be conducting an operation, but it's all just for practice. Now, coming up, I'm going to show you some footage of what training operations actually look like and what law enforcement agencies are going to be involved in this operation. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Bailey. Well, we're learning new details this morning about the woman arrested at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Yujing Jiang had an array of sophisticated electronic equipment. Those included a thumb drive, a laptop, an external hard drive, and 4 cell phones. When the Secret Service examined that thumb drive, agents found a malicious file that began to install itself onto a computer being used to test it. When they searched her hotel room, investigators found even more. Another cell phone, 5 SIM cards that change a phone's number, 9 USB drives, and a signal detector. That's a device for detecting hidden cameras. So far, Yujing Jiang has only been charged with lying and entering restricted grounds, but prosecutors said in court they're investigating a possible espionage operation.
And this morning, police are continuing to investigate the deaths of 2 people that were hit by cars in Grand Forks.
39-year-old Christina Melvin died on Demers Avenue near I-29 early Sunday morning when she was hit by a car. Police tell us she was passing through Grand Forks on Amtrak trains and is from Pennsylvania. Police have spoken with several witnesses, but they're still searching for the person who hit her. WDAY News has also learned 65-year-old David Hagan of Grand Forks died on Monday night on Gateway Drive near I-29. Police say he wasn't using the crosswalk at the time. An investigation is underway, but no charges have been filed.
The NAACP is calling a series of church fires in Louisiana an act of domestic terrorism. 3 different historically black churches in the state have burned down in a period of just 2 weeks. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards has directed the state fire marshal to aggressively investigate the fires. The FBI is also on scene. Right now, there are no leads on possible suspects. Some pastors in nearby areas are sleeping inside their churches, hoping to prevent additional fires. Authorities are also looking at a 4th, smaller fire that was set back on March 31st at the Pentecostal church with a predominantly white congregation to see if there was a link. The city of Ada is now looking for a new administrator.
The former one submitted his letter of resignation last night at the city council meeting.
I'm Matt Vollen, preaching pastor at Messiah's Hour of Worship television broadcast. As kids, many of us learned the 10 Commandments. The 3rd commandment is to honor the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. Messiah's Hour of Worship is on the air to help you keep this very important precept of the Lord. Please support and attend your local church. But if for whatever reason that's not possible, tune into this channel on Sunday mornings at 11 and join us for worship. May God bless you and yours in all the seasons of life.
During Unclaimed Freight Furniture's Customer Appreciation Sale, we want to say thank you for making us your furniture and mattress store for over 40 years. Join us in celebrating with 30% savings plus pay no interest for 2 years. Sofas as low as $3.99, and this reclining sofa now 50% off. 5-piece dining sets now $7.99, and 6-piece queen bedroom collections only $6.99. For over 40 years, we've proudly provided you new name brand furniture at lowest prices, and that's something to celebrate. Shop today at unclaimed-freight-furniture.com.
Understanding insurance can be like trying to learn a foreign language. Maybe you're having a problem with your policy or a claim. Perhaps you're just looking for peace of mind. Whatever the reason, the North Dakota Insurance Department can help. The insurance you have throughout your life is unique and ever-changing, just like you. Fortunately, if you have any problem or question along the way, the North Dakota Insurance Department is here for you. The North Dakota Insurance Department, protecting the public good.
Are feelings of stress, worry, hopelessness, or anger taking over your life? Are you unable to be the parent, spouse, and employee that you know you can be? Prairie St. John's is here to help you get back to life. Our trusted mental health therapists and addiction counselors are available in all levels of care, including clinic appointments, day programs, residential treatment, and inpatient hospitalization. Call Prairie St. John's at 701-476-7200 for more information.
Walk MS brings communities together to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. Together we are stronger. Register today at walkms.org.
When it's happening in your area.
WDAY has been there from the start.
With the melt progressing slowly, it's really the long-range forecast that matters.
Turn to the WDAY Storm Tracker T. The weather is brought to you by Northwest Tire.
This morning, kind of a quiet start for us here, but just to the south of us, dealing with some snow in South Dakota and to southwestern Minnesota. As you're grabbing that cup of coffee, it is going to be a little bit chilly out there today, and actually the rest of the forecast is just looking pretty cool here for the work week, and that may even last in the weekend due to the potential for some snow to move through the region. Still a little bit breezy across parts of North Dakota and the valley, so it's going to be very similar to yesterday. We're noticing a little bit of that wind out there, and temperatures are going to be kind of cool, and it's cooler for the southern half of the valley. Yesterday we had some 30s out there. This morning most of us are below freezing, even seeing a couple teens in the mix. Your morning coffee outlook will be in the 20s here for the next couple hours, eventually warming into the 30s this afternoon, and it will be a little bit breezy. Today's winds will be out of the northeast for us and kind of sustain right around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Not too far away. We are tracking the snow across South Dakota. Multiple weather headlines out there this morning. Toughest conditions as we look ahead toward tomorrow into Friday will be in parts of South Dakota and western and southwestern Minnesota, and very close to the valley too. Into Alexandria, Aberdeen could be dealing with some very strong winds and blowing snow. The pink shaded area is going to be our winter storm warning for Fargo and between there and Grand Forks. Now we're going to be looking at some higher accumulations of snow. I'm going to be going over that here throughout your morning, talking about the temperature forecast, which is looking a little bit cooler if we're looking toward the weekend due to the potential to pick up that snow in the days to come. So it won't be quite as warm here for a little while anyway. But yeah, some cool days ahead. I'll be tracking that next.
This morning, the city of Ada is looking for a new administrator after their current one resigned during a city council meeting. Benjamin Bergner submitted an 8-page resignation letter saying the mayor discriminated against him because of his religion, he's Mormon, and where he lived outside of Ada city limits. The 34-year-old Bergner said he'd stay on for 2 months to help with the transition, but he said Mayor Todd Sawrey wants him out right away. Bergner said Sawrey tried to terminate his contract within minutes of submitting his resignation letter. Sawrey declined to comment. The council approved the resignation and agreed to pay Bergner for the next 30 days. Ashley Larson has been appointed interim administrator.
New York City has declared a state of emergency due to an outbreak of the measles. 285 cases have been diagnosed there since October. Under the new order, city health officials will now comb through vaccination records of those who may have come into contact with infected individuals. Anyone who hasn't been vaccinated or doesn't get vaccinated could be facing a fine of up to $1,000. Mayor de Blasio is even threatening to shut down schools that don't ban unvaccinated children from attending school. The city says it wants people to know they're not messing around in stopping the outbreak.
The Defense Department has allocated $1 billion to begin construction of a border barrier. It announced yesterday that 2 companies will be contracted to do that work. The biggest contract, worth $789 million, went to a Texas-based construction company. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers wants them to build 46 miles of 30-foot bollard fencing in Santa Teresa, New Mexico. A $187 million contract went to a Montana-based construction company. They'll build 11 miles of 18-foot bollard fencing in Yuma, Arizona. Both of those contracts include the construction of a 5-foot anti-climb plate. The project should be completed in October of 2020. And UND President Mark Kennedy could be on his way out. Coming up, we'll tell you where he could be headed and what students think of his potential departure from the university.
And Jared tells us what we can expect later this week as a snowstorm is headed toward the valley.
Look around. Everything is bigger. Bigger shoes to fill, bigger dreams to chase. And for this big life, we built the all-new Ram 1500. Everything you need in a truck, and things you never imagined. For those who are always on to bigger things.
Well-qualified returning FCA lessees get this low-mileage lease on the 2019 Ram 1500, or get an average $17,903 in total values on select 2019 Ram 1500 models in dealer stock.
Real people, steel people. They want real power, real options, and real value. Buy an easy-to-use trimmer, reliable handheld blower, or step up to our biggest, most powerful backpack blower. This season, make it happen at your local Steel dealer. Search STIHL or visit steeldealers.com.
Luther Family Buick GMC certified pre-owned vehicles stand apart from other used cars. Each one is factory reconditioned and must pass a 172-point inspection. Then it's backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. First-year maintenance, 1 month of Sirius XM and OnStar, all free. Purchase your next certified pre-owned vehicle with no worries at Luther Family Buick GMC. Corner of I-29 and 32nd Avenue South, Fargo, or online at LutherFamilyBuickGMC.com.
In the fast-paced world of medicine, how can you keep up? What do you need to know, and what is just information overload? Join me, Tracy Briggs, every Wednesday night during the WDAY News at 6 as I talk to Essentia Health medical professionals about the latest developments in medicine, cutting-edge procedures, and everyday tips for keeping you and your family healthy throughout the year. It's Essentia Health Medical Insight every Wednesday on WDAY News at 6.
Matt Bus, the safe way to ride in Fargo-Moorhead. Start your ride at mattbus.com.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
Today, the University of Colorado is set to discuss a job offer, which could mean the president of UND might be on his way out.
Mark Kennedy has been president at UND for the last 3 years. The University of Colorado hasn't said who the job offer is for at this point. Most students on UND's campus say they're neutral or don't care that their president could be resigning. The University of Colorado's decision doesn't have to be announced for at least 2 weeks.
This morning, Israel's election for prime minister is still too close to call, but 2 candidates are already declaring themselves the winner. Current Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has 26.28% of the vote, and his opponent, Benny Gantz, has 25.97% as of 1:15 this morning Central Time. That was with 90% of the votes counted. Both sides are projected to win 35 seats each in government. Gantz was quoted saying, "We won. The Israeli public has had their say." While at his own rally, Netanyahu said, quote, "The right-wing bloc won a clear victory. I thank the citizens of Israel for the trust."
And we're waking up to a kind of colder morning, and it sounds like that's going to be the trend for a while.
Yeah, I was just going to talk to you guys during the break that, you know, the weekend had looked warmer, but now with the forecast for snow to move into our area and likely accumulating, it'll end up keeping us a little chillier here for the weekend coming up. Temps this morning, a lot of us below freezing, even some of us in the teens. Rolla at 19 right now. We have 20 in Bemidji, 27 in Warroad. It's 29 in Fargo-Moorhead and 25 in Grand Forks. Now, a cool start to the day. It's pretty quiet besides this little breeze in Fargo-Moorhead, though. 29 northeast winds at 12 miles per hour. In Detroit Lakes, we're at 28. A little breeze there out of the east-northeast, and in Grand Forks we're at 25 with a northeast wind at 10 miles per hour. I think today is going to be very similar to yesterday. It's just a little chillier start for some of us. We'll be in the 20s over much of the area this afternoon, heading into some mid to few upper 30s, and it does look like we'll stay fairly overcast. That was a look at the northern half of the valley and the southern half of the valley. Very similar trend here. So cool start, starting out below freezing by lunchtime, just getting a little bit above that. So it's going to take a little bit to kind of warm up today. Keep in mind our seasonal average high temperatures right now, lower 50s. So we're going to be well below average here today. Mainly 30s across North Dakota and much of the valley into northwestern Minnesota today. Kind of a breeze out of the northeast. It'll be around 37 today for Fargo. Tomorrow will be a chillier day. Snow is going to be developing already in the morning and then shifting up toward the north as we continue throughout the day. And that'll hold those temperatures off. So the northern half of the valley tomorrow may end up being a little bit warmer than the south as that snow is moving on in. When I come back here in a little bit, I'll be continuing to track that snowstorm. Not too long from now, I'll give you an idea how much we could be picking up as that moves on through, and it's just going to lead to a cooler forecast for a while.
Road construction is now making it hard for emergency crews to respond to calls.
And what they're doing to make sure they can help people who dial 911. Plus.
And I'll tell you what to expect from the live training operation by the Red River Valley SWAT team later today.
It's time to turn heads in a Toyota. Turn up your drive in the all-new 2019 RAV4 Adventure with standard all-wheel drive. Turn up your comfort in the Highlander with seating for 8. Turn up your safety in the all-new 2019 RAV4 Limited with standard pre-collision. This spring, turn up the heat in a Toyota. Get 0.9% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2019 Highlander, or get $1,500 customer cash on Highlander. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Protect vehicles, outdoor equipment, and more with Shelter Logic from Menards and get 11% off everything. Garages and sheds assemble quickly to block the elements and stop harmful UV rays while protecting your investments. And make your backyard get-togethers better with a Shelter Logic canopy. Large or small, there's a Shelter Logic canopy or shelter to meet your needs. And right now, they're all 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
We know it's a difficult conversation, but you can give your family peace of mind by sharing your final wishes. Pre-planning your funeral with the caring and experienced team at Bolger Funeral Home means your needs and requests will be honored. Take away the stress and burden of expense during their time of grief with the team your neighbors and community have trusted for generations. Schedule a meeting with Bolger Funeral Home and Cremation Services today.
Soft spots are the #1 complaint consumers have about their beds today. Most mattresses are made out of cheap foam that begins losing support immediately, developing soft spots. You can't see them, but you can feel them. The problem is, their warranties only cover sag, not loss of support. So if they don't cover soft spots, they're worthless. We're the only company in the world with patented technology that accurately measures support at key areas of your mattress. We cover what matters. The soft spot warranty from Comfort King.
Matt Bus, the safe way to ride in Fargo Moorhead. Start your ride at mattbus.com.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
This morning, kind of chilly out there. A lot of us are below freezing. I almost said sub-zero, but we aren't that cold. It's just below freezing. A lot of 20s to kick off your day. We're going to stay pretty cloudy here. Not too far away, though. Tracking snow across much of northern and eastern parts of South Dakota. If you look closely there, right on the edge that passes over to Minnesota, a lot of lightning strikes have been popping up there. So parts of South Dakota have been maybe hearing and seeing some thunder snow throughout the overnight hours, which is kind of cool to point out. I don't know if you've ever been around that. I've only been around it one time, and it was very impressive. So kind of a neat situation. Anyway, that's to the south of us. We do have a blizzard warning for the orangish red shaded area for parts of our region, mainly to the south of us. That's where I think is going to be the toughest travel heading into tomorrow and Friday. There's going to be a lot of wind with some heavy snow continue to move in the area. And then winter storm warning for parts of the valley for the pink shaded area where we're going to have that accumulating snow. Back to what's going on this morning. Just want to point out, it's kind of breezy. Today is going to be very similar to what we had yesterday. So winds will be kind of of slowly picking up here, and they'll stay breezy overnight tonight. Quickly running through futurecasts today, we're going to be dry, just overcast, kind of cool. Later on tonight, it's when the snow will move into the southern half of the valley. Got this pause 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, so around Fargo, Moorhead to the south, we're starting to see that snow develop, and that'll be into Lakes Country, and then throughout the day, moving up northward. And there'll be a lot of wind, but more wind to the south of us. That's why I think the travel impacts over eastern South Dakota, western Minnesota will be kind of the toughest. So what we know with the storm, this will be a Thursday, Friday situation for us up here for the valley. A lot of snow will be possible, especially in the southern half of the valley, and even some blowing snow as you get closer to the border with South Dakota. Still in question the exact track of the storm and how much snow and how much wind here we'll have for the valley. But not too long from now, I'll give you an idea what we're thinking so far this morning. By the way, last time we had 1 inch of snow in Fargo Moorhead was about a month ago on March 9th, which we actually picked up 9 inches. In Grand Forks, it was March 14th at 4.2, so 27 days ago in Grand Forks. When I come back, though, I'll talk more about the snow, how much we could be picking up here, and maybe we'll have to shovel again and maybe even blow some snow.
Oh boy, thank you, Jared. Well, today, the Building Bridges Conference is continuing at the Holiday Inn to help people learn more about immigration and refugees.
It includes training sessions and panel discussions, along with 4 keynote speakers. WDAY News talked with a conference spokesperson who says the main goal is to shed light on the importance of the immigration issue. Registration is still open for that conference. You can do that at the Holiday Inn. And with all the road construction projects going on in our area, emergency crews are now teaming up to help each other out.
Yeah, Fargo and West Fargo fire departments have a new automatic aid agreement. It allows each fire department to now respond to emergencies in the other city if needed. This comes after the community raised concerns over construction on Cheyenne Street and 52nd Avenue South. Fargo Fire Chief Steve Dirksen says it is the first agreement of its kind in the state. The deal will last through November 1st. The Minnesota Twins were in New York taking on the Mets last night. Coming up, see if they could beat one of the best pitchers in baseball. Plus.
And I'll tell you what homeowners in North Fargo should be on the lookout for when the SWAT team takes over for their practice.
From getting the lawn back in shape to getting back out on the lake, whatever the season, Fleet Farm has everything to make this spring great. With deals like Supreme Power Auto Batteries, $10 off with exchange. Iams large bags of dog food, $5 off our low fleet price. Superior Crabgrass Preventer, $14.99. And a Helix 5-chirp GPS G2 fish locator, $249.99 after rebate. Fleet Farm is built for every season. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
This April at Shooting Star Casino Monoman and Bagley. Get ready for a wave of excitement, a splash of big thrills, and a boatload of fun during our Catching Cash giveaways with nearly $70,000 in cash and prizes. Play daily to win cash every Sunday up to $2,500. Then reel in the grand prize, $1,000 cash and a Suntracker Bass Buggy Fishing Pontoon on Sunday, April 28th. We've got action that floats your boat. StarCasino.com.
I'm an expert at being there for you and your family.
I'm an expert at making you feel comfortable.
I am an expert at helping you through your grief.
I'm an expert at preserving your dignity.
I'm an expert at relieving your pain.
I'm an expert at caring for you, not just your disease.
I'm an expert at helping you find your way.
You deserve the expert care of Hospice of the Red River Valley.
When severe weather strikes your community, be prepared with a WDAY Storm Tracker team. Our weather experts have the experience you need to keep you and your family safe, bringing you the most comprehensive coverage in the region. Get updates and alerts specific to your community on TV, on radio, online, and on the Storm Tracker app. When you need to stay informed, turn to the only name that matters, WDAY Storm Tracker.
It takes a team to bring the story home every day. It takes a leader to build a legacy of trust.
As the only locally owned news station in the region, we're there for you at every turn.
We're your neighbors, telling the stories that matter because your community is our community.
So when you need to reconnect, remember that we're working every day, just like you,
trying to make a better tomorrow.
WDAY News, the only locally owned news station in the region. You're watching First News on WDAY.
been kind of chilly out there this morning. A lot of us hanging out in the 20s, but also tracking snow just to the south of us across northern South Dakota. I've even seen some thunder snow, I'm thinking, down in east central to eastern South Dakota. That is away from us. There's some drier air situated to our north and east, kind of over northern and northeastern Minnesota. And with a northeast breeze coming off that drier air, it's kind of holding off a lot of that snow. So we should stay dry here today. It's just going to be a cool one overall. A lot of weather headlines have been going over these this morning, but some of them to point out here. Blizzard warning for eastern South Dakota, west central Minnesota. That's the orangish red shaded area where I think we'll have the highest impacts around the region, meaning that we're going to have a lot of wind and a lot of snow in those areas. Just north of that to Fargo, Moorhead, and southern half of the valley, the winter storm warning. This is going to be for Thursday into Friday, where we're going to likely have some higher accumulations of snow. In Grand Forks, we're still in the winter storm watch, so kind of keeping an eye on that area. That's still just a big question mark for how much snow we could see in the northern half of the valley. Let's run through Futurecast and give you an idea how this could shape up here. Of course, this is just a model run. I want to go show you that throughout the day here. It's mainly in South Dakota into southern Minnesota. As we head overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, got this pause at 7 a.m., so just starting to get in that morning commute time. Southern half of the valley, likely we'll be seeing some snow south of I-94 there from Fargo, Moorhead into Lakes Country, Detroit Lakes, and down to the south, where we'll have some wind and snow combination in eastern South Dakota, western Minnesota. Big pressure change happening with this system. As we head throughout the day, heading into lunchtime, into the afternoon, looks like a lot of this snow will lift northward. We're not going to see as much in the northern half of the valley, but that's why it's still the question mark, because we'll be closer to that edge. Fargo, Moorhead likely to get kind of tough throughout the day here by lunchtime into the afternoon on Thursday, with some accumulating snow continuing to move through the area. This will last into Thursday night. Got this pause on Friday morning. We'll still have that breeze out there and snow, and then it looks like this will slowly taper off throughout the day on Friday, just turning over to maybe some snow showers, and it's going to be kind of breezy and cooler. So the impacts here for Thursday and Friday, I would say high for snow, wind, and road, especially in the southern half of the valley. It's going to get pretty gusty. Road travel is going to be very difficult, and I think the higher accumulations are going to be in the southern half of the valley. Kind of looking at around a 6 to 12 inch range. Fargo, Moorhead to Detroit Lakes. In the very southern tier of the Red River Valley, Wahpeton, Fergus Falls, we could see even more. We may be 12, 15 inches in some places, and more down into South Dakota. The northern tier of the Red River Valley, this is where that question mark's at. We're going to be right on the edge of the accumulating snow. Back to today, it's going to be a cool one. Expect some 30s this afternoon, and tomorrow could be even cooler yet. We could be right around freezing, as that snow is keeping us pretty chilly. Talk more about the temperature forecast and this storm system as I come back here in a little bit with your 7-day forecasts.
An area in North Fargo will be shut down later today for special training with the Red River SWAT team.
WDOY News reporter Bailey Verton is live from that neighborhood to tell us what homeowners in the area should expect to see. Bailey?
Sarah, Rob, I'm right in the 1100 block of 7th Avenue North in Fargo, where in just a few hours, these roads are going to be taken over by a SWAT team as they start to practice. Now, here's what we know so far about that training. They will be conducting a scenario training between 5 and 9:30 p.m. This street, 7th Avenue North, will be closed between 7 and 9. SWAT is warning homeowners because you might hear some loud noises and loud voices, but as a reminder, it's all practice. They will also have firearms, but they're not loaded. Now, coming up, I'm going to show you some video from past SWAT training practices just to kind of give you an idea of what it might look like, and I'll tell you what other agencies are involved in the process. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Bailey. Oprah Winfrey is doing her part to help Puerto Rico recover from Hurricane Maria. Winfrey announced she's making a $2 million commitment to the island. Half of that donation will go toward the Hispanic Federation's Unidos Disaster Relief and Recovery Program to develop long-term needs for Puerto Rico. The other half will go to the Flamboyant Arts Fund, which focuses on continuing Puerto Rico's arts and culture heritage. Puerto Rico continues to recover after the island was devastated by Hurricane Maria back in September of 2017.
Google is now officially using drones to deliver goods, including espresso, golf equipment, and even gelato. Wing, the drone company owned by Google's parent company, is now delivering orders to about 100 households in Canberra, Australia. Wing has been making trial runs in the area for a year, but Australian aviation authorities only recently gave formal approval. Deliveries are expected to gradually expand to more neighborhoods in the coming months. Drone deliveries in the U.S. have been more limited as companies wait on regulations.
A springtime safety tradition will not happen as a winter storm is now on the way. The statewide tornado drill in Minnesota is being canceled. It was scheduled for tomorrow, the same day the storm is set to dump snow throughout much of Minnesota. The drill could be postponed until later this month or early May.
With several celebrities embroiled in the college admissions scandal involving their kids, a lot of attention's being paid to the pressure that students are under to do well in school. A new study shows that parents getting too involved in the process could be a bad thing. Psychologists studied freshmen entering college. They found students who felt more autonomy tended to display less anxiety about achievement.
The Minnesota Twins had their work cut out for them last night in New York, a place where they always seem to struggle. But it wasn't the Yankees they were facing, it was the Mets. The Twins showed off some power in the game as the team hit 6 home runs. Minnesota scored runs in 6 out of 9 innings as well. The Mets tried to rally later in the game with the bases loaded, but could not get the job done. The Twins take game 1 of the series with a 14-8 win and improve their season record to 6-3. Now, Ariana Grande is launching a new beauty line, what it will be called and the products that will be in it.
And a merchant ship believed to be 3,600 years old has been discovered. Where it was found and what it's believed to have been carrying.
Are we lost in our way? We believe in a change. In our dreams, nothing stays, but we dream just the same.
Good news, savvy furniture shoppers. Your patience is about to pay off in the Amish Gallery at Home of Economy. You've waited for our famous 9-hour sale, and it's here this Saturday only. With 10, 20, even 50% off all furniture. Sofas and dining room sets, recliners, home crest patio sets. Everything's at its lowest price of the year. Be smart, be quick, and be here this Saturday only for up to 50% off at the Amish Gallery in Grand Forks and Minot.
Home of Economy.
First time I realized that I needed a hearing aid is because I can hear people's conversations. It's helped a great deal. Dean is the greatest. The word Miracle Air is the perfect name for this device. It's gave me a little more confidence. It's just this tiny little device that has changed my life as far as being able to hear again. It is a miracle.
Mark your calendars, you won't want to miss it. The FM Career Expo is Tuesday, April 16th at Delta Hotel in Fargo. More than 80 companies are looking for someone like you. This multi-industry career expo runs from 12:30 to 3:30 on Tuesday, April 16th, and at Delta Hotel Fargo, 1635 42nd Street, South Fargo, and is sponsored by Job Service North Dakota, Midwest Radio of Fargo Moorhead, WDAY-TV, Jobs HQ, and Rural MN SEP. Visit jobsnd.com for more information.
Fish on, Merce! It's a good-looking fish, though.
First walleye of the day.
Take a look at that. It's great to be here dockside with you guys. King and steelhead bowls. Oh.
There's the stuff to pay.
Catch Outdoor Bound TV weekends on ABC.
I'd like to stay this way today, to not feel so afraid, to never feel like giving up, to always be okay, to always be okay.
The news is brought to you by Ram.
Singer Ariana Grande is launching a new beauty line named after her hit song. It'll contain fragrances, bath and body products sold under the name Ariana Grande, Thank You Next. Earlier this month, her company filed to trademark that name. Grande already sells beauty products, including fragrances named Cloud, Sweet Like Candy, and Moonlight. Her single titled Thank You Next came out in November, followed by an album with the same name in February. And a merchant ship believed to be some 3,600 years old has been found off Turkey's Mediterranean coast. The 46-foot shipwreck loaded with copper was discovered by an underwater research team from Turkey. Turkish officials hailed the discovery as a breakthrough in underwater archaeology and said it dates back to 1600 BC. Officials also say the ship was carrying the earliest industrial products in the world. The ship is believed to have sunk after hitting a storm. And we're about to get a storm a little bit ourselves too, right, Jared?
Yes. I wish I was able to say it's going to go well south of us, but it is on the way. At the moment, it is south of us, but eventually be lifting up into our area tomorrow into Friday, where today some drier air will kind of hold this off just to the south and west of us. But parts of South Dakota into west central parts of Minnesota dealing with the snow. If you look closely, I have the lightning data on. There's some lightning strikes popping up. That's how impressive the system is. So a lot of lift with that. And even having some convective snow, just meaning that it's really snowing hard and enough that it's producing some lightning with that. So pretty neat down there in parts of South Dakota with some thunder snow. Your 7-day forecast today, a chilly one. 37 today in Fargo, Moorhead, kind of breezy with overcast sky. Tomorrow, the snow will start to develop as early as tomorrow morning for that commute. Last throughout the day, we'll have some snow, some wind out there, blowing snow for the southern half of the valley. Temperatures really not changing much for about a 2-day spread there. It'll be in those upper 20s to lower 30s both Thursday and Friday. Later on the day on Friday, it looks like we'll start to see that snow kind of tapering off, maybe kind of on and off by midday into the afternoon. And since we are going to pick up snow, yesterday we had some warmer temperatures for the weekend, but likely going to have snow on the ground, and it'll last for a little while before we can melt it. That it's not going to be as warm for the weekend until about midweek next week once we can start to get rid of that. But yeah, a little cooler forecast now for us. The trend is looking to stay that way. 35 today in Grand Forks, just a chilly one overall. As I mentioned, temps really not changing much for Thursday into Friday. It's going to be some snow, some accumulating snow, just not as much wind and not as much snow in the northern half valley. I think we'll still see some, just won't be as much as the south. And then the weekend, pretty quiet weather. Hopefully we can just melt that snow a little bit faster up there. Otherwise, a cooler day in the forecast today, as I just mentioned, mainly 30s, but I'll be going over that spring snowstorm that's right on the rise in here coming up not too long from now.
All right, we'll check back for that full weather forecast. And the Minnesota Wild are not in the NHL playoffs for the first time in 7 years. What big decision they're going to have to make before next season.
Springtime is the time to buy a new Polaris. Right now, the world's best-selling utility side-by-sides are priced to move, with rebates up to $1,500. Get rolling at Polaris.com.
The toughest truck in the Northland is back for a limited time. Don't miss the Northland Edition F-150, America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. It's got best-in-class towing and payload, also best-in-class horsepower, plus other smart features to tackle whatever the Northland throws your way. Don't miss your chance to get a 2019 Northland Edition F-150. Get over $11,000 in total savings plus $750 Northland cash on a Northland Edition F-150 at your local Northland Ford dealer.
What are you thinking?
Thinking about burger, fries, and some pie.
You know it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, then bring the pie first.
Thought you'd seen every burger deal out there? Well, meet Perkins' new burger, fries, and pie combo, just $9.99. That's right, any of our big American specialty burgers, crispy fries, and a slice of famous Perkins pie, only $9.99. A classic deal plus dessert only at Perkins.
Hi, I'm Pastor Tony Skeving from Fargo Baptist Church. I just wanted to take a moment to remind you that April 21st is Easter Sunday. I'd like to invite you to join us for our 10:30 service. Hope you can make it. God bless you.
From the courts to your home, witness every exciting play from the 2019 North Dakota Boys and Girls High School Basketball Championships on DVD. Watch the best of the best.
Thompson is Titletown!
DVDs available for a limited time on WDAY.com. $25 plus tax, shipping, and handling for each game. The 2019 North Dakota Boys and Girls High School Basketball Championships on DVD. Order yours today.
A special thank you to the Cass and Clay County community from St. Francis Outreach and Thrift Store. Through your efforts and donations, along with your generosity, you've made it possible for the outreach program to help over 11,000 friends with rent, utilities, and medical expenses so far this year. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. Thank you from St. Francis Outreach and Thrift Store.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
A neighborhood near downtown Fargo is going to be shut down later today as the Red River Valley SWAT team begins training.
And WDAY News reporter Bailey Verton is joining us live this morning where it'll happen to tell us what homeowners should expect to see. Good morning, Bailey.
Rob, Sarah, good morning. I'm in the 1100 block of 7th Avenue North in this area where in just a few hours law enforcement will be all over the roads, all over the sidewalks because the SWAT team will be training. Now that's from 5 to 9:30. I called Fargo PD this morning to check and homeowners will still be able to get home. The only time that you're going to need to worry about it or have any concern is between 7 and 9. That's when they're going to start shutting down traffic so the SWAT team can train. Now I've got some video here from last month I want to show you. This is what the training will probably somewhat look like. They were practicing explosive breaching at the old city hall in this video. You can see they have firearms. They will have firearms again today, but they are unloaded. Law enforcement, like the Fargo PD, will be around to help secure the area and answer any questions that you have. They just want to remind people living in the area that you might hear some loud noises, you might hear some loud voices. It's all for practice. If you do see them with firearms, don't worry, it's all just for practice. They are unloaded, like I said before. Now, coming up, I'm going to give you a rundown of what time things will start to happen and what roads you can expect to close down. Back to you guys.
And this morning, starting off a little bit on the chilly side, hanging out here in some 20s, even some teens. We're all at 19 right now. We have 29 Fargo, Moorhead, 25 in Grand Forks. So most of us hanging out in the 20s. A little breeze still lingering around. Today's going to be kind of like yesterday, maybe just a touch cooler overall, and I think it will stay fairly cloudy with that breeze continuing to blow out of the northeast and could even pick up more so as we head late into the night into tomorrow. Some more wind in the forecast. Satellite radar, some snow across parts of South Dakota spreading toward the east. A few bands in there getting pretty heavy. We're going to see those really dark shades of blue. It's indicating a lot more snow, even seeing a few lightning strikes with some of that. Anyway, as we head throughout the day, we stay dry today. We have some drier air to our north and east that will kind of hold that snow to the south of us. As we head to tomorrow, though, the system will come together a little bit more in the central plains, start to lift northward. This is by 5 p.m. here this evening. By tomorrow morning, the southern half of the valley is when I think is going to see that snow start to move on in. The breeze will pick up into tomorrow, so there will be some blowing and drifting snow. I should just say some blowing snow. It should be a little heavier and wet, that it shouldn't be drifting much. But there will be some very strong winds in parts of eastern South Dakota, western and southwestern Minnesota. It's still going to be breezy and borderline windy here for the valley, just not as much wind as there will be to our neighbors to the south. I got this pause at 5 o'clock for tomorrow, so it is lifting farther up in the northern half of the valley into northern Minnesota. Won't see as much snow, but likely to see at least some with the higher accumulation snow farther in the south here. As we head into your Friday forecast, I think we'll slowly start to see this tapering off. We'll still likely see some snow showers on Friday and a breeze. Forecast storm total as of now, not as much snow up in the northern half of the valley, and this is the biggest question mark kind of on the northern tier, how far northward that will lift. Fargo, Moorhead, we could be somewhere between that 6 to 12 inch range. That extends into Detroit Lakes area. Down near Fergus Falls, Wahpeton, there's hints of even more snow. Some places may see over a foot, with the highest accumulations I think will be down in South Dakota, where I wouldn't doubt if there's someone that's reporting that 18 maybe to 2 feet of snow, so 18 inches up to 2 feet. So that'll be a little bit farther to the south, but the southern half of the valley definitely will see more than the north as the system moves on through. So what we know, Thursday to Friday is when this is going to move on through. We'll have some measurable snow for most of the area here for the valley. We'll have some blowing snow as it's coming down because it'll get quite breezy, if not windy for much of the area. And it's still in question the exact storm track and how much snow we are going to see. We got a good idea of just rough estimates there, but most of it is going to fall in the southern half of the valley as opposed to the north. By the way, back to today's weather, it's chilly out there. We're going to be in the 30s and actually sticking around in the 30s to close out the rest of the work week. Temps really not going to change much for Thursday and Friday. We'll be hovering near freezing. So cooler one for today. Got that spring snowstorm on the rise, and I'll continue to cover that all morning long.
Well, we may have that late blast of winter headed our way tomorrow and Friday, but seasonally warmer weather should be near.
That sounds pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Well, Storm Tracker meteorologist Lydia Bloom is joining us live in studio this morning to tell us when we could see that warm weather. Good morning.
Good morning, Rob and Sarah. So far, we've seen 50s and 60s for highs, but I found out why soon we won't need a time machine to get back to the 70s. 3, 2, 1, cut. I forgot my opening line. One of these days it'll actually be warm out, I promise. But in the meantime, our region hasn't seen 70 degrees since October 18th. That's almost 6 months ago. But it might not be too much longer until we touch 70.
Over the period of record, the average first 70-degree day in spring for Fargo is April 17th. Over the past 20 years, the average is April 13th. For Grand Forks, the historical average is April 20th. And April 16th for the past 20 years. That first truly warm afternoon can happen as early as mid-March or as late in the spring as late May. When the snow is deep and lingers on the ground well into spring, 70-degree weather is just not possible.
Spring floodwater has almost the same effect as snow. It takes a lot more energy to melt the snow and to warm the water than it does for dirt. That's why the warm April sunshine goes into melting and warming that water rather than warming the temperature of the air.
But once the water drains away and the ground dries up, that first 70-degree day is certain to happen as soon as a warm southerly breeze blows warm air our way.
And here's an interesting tidbit for you. April is full of roller coaster weather. We're expecting a snowstorm tomorrow, but on April 21st, 1980, we had 100-degree day. Reporting live in studio, I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Lydia Bloom.
Well, the Stanley Cup playoffs begin tonight, and the Minnesota Wild will not be a part of them. Minnesota was up and down all year long, and in the end, they struggled to find the consistency needed to make the postseason. The Wild have some serious decisions to make as they miss the playoffs for the first time in 7 seasons. One of them will be if Bruce Boudreau will be back to coach the team next year.
Well, some get along like angels and others fight like cats and dogs. That's right, it's National Sibling Day.
And to do the holiday justice, I gathered up some of our sibling photos from our First News team. First News reporter Bailey is the oldest. This is her sister Lindsay and brother Ethan.
And here's our producer Andy and his younger brother Jordan on a lava tube in Hawaii. And this one depicts, well, my younger brother and myself with my mom on a trip in South Carolina. And as you can see, he got the big genes in the family.
And here's a throwback photo of my brothers and I, the twins, Patrick and Christopher on the left and Andrew on the right. And I'm not even kidding, this was our Christmas card one year. And Storm Tracker meteorologist Lydia Bloom is the oldest of 4. Here's Christmas with Isabel, Ivan, and Lily.
And here's our First News photographer, Eric, and his little brother, Carter, having some good sibling fun. And Jared's an only child this morning, so that's why you didn't see him in that montage there.
Exactly, yeah. So be sure to give a call or text to your siblings today.
Absolutely. Well, local elementary students are helping out homeless shelters.
What they're donating to help out those that are in need.
I was proud of my son when he got his degree. I was proud when he got that job in the city, managed a team. But the day I was most proud was when he realized he was a farmer, like me.
We're Corteva Agriscience, the next generation of farming for the next generation of farmers. Keep growing.
The toughest truck in the Northland is back for a limited time. Don't miss the Northland Edition F-150, America's best-selling truck 42 years straight. It's got best-in-class towing and payload, also best-in-class horsepower, plus other smart features to tackle whatever the Northland throws your way. Don't miss your chance to get a 2019 Northland Edition F-150. Get over $11,000 in total savings plus $750 Northland cash on a Northland Edition F-150 at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Every 3 days, someone in North Dakota dies by suicide.
And the power of one phone call can make a difference.
Your life matters. You have a purpose.
First Link can help you find support in your area. Reach out. You don't have to struggle alone.
This isn't the end of your story. Let's find hope together. Call First Link 211 or 1-800-273-TALK.
When severe weather strikes your community, be prepared with a WDAY Storm Tracker team. Our weather experts have the experience you need to keep you and your family safe, bringing you the most comprehensive coverage in the region. Get updates and alerts specific to your community on TV, on radio, online, and on the Storm Tracker app. When you need to stay informed, turn to the only name that matters, WDAY Storm Tracker.
The Culligan high-efficiency water softener is the world's best. It's backed by the industry's strongest warranty and serviced by the world's largest local dealer network. Click or call Culligan Water and start saving today.
Imagine a good morning spent with friends. What's better than that? Imagine knowing what's coming next in the day ahead. Well, I get to live this each morning together with you. Imagine that. And that's what makes it such a good morning, America.
You're watching First News on WDAY.
This morning, we're starting off dry here for the valley, but not too far away. Snow in parts of South Dakota into southwestern Minnesota. If you look closely, you can see it had multiple lightning strikes popping up right along that band of snow. So likely some folks may be waking up to some thunder snow in parts of South Dakota and even extreme southwestern Minnesota. For us up here, we have some drier air in place. It's going to hold here throughout the day ahead, but it isn't too far away that we're running into some snow. Kind of south of Highway 12 there is moving west out of the Twin Cities. Noticing some of that anyway, but that is just going to stay to our south and west, and just most of this just right on the border, just near the border there with North Dakota. Not too far away though, we're going to have the worst of the impacts of the storm, just meaning a blizzard potential for eastern South Dakota, southwestern Minnesota. That's going to be that orangish red shaded area. It does include Sisseton to Alexander, so it's not going to be too far away that we're going to have some very strong winds and heavy snow coming down. North of that, still going to be windy, just not as windy, and likely to see that the heavier snow moving in. This is going to be a Thursday and Friday situation, not today. Today we're going to be stay dry and kind of chilly out there with mainly 30s, fairly overcast as well. Southern tier of the Red River Valley, we may be hitting up to around 40 or so, but I think much of the area will just stay in those 30s. It's going to be a cool one overall. So I'm sure many of you have many questions about this spring snowstorm that's on the way, the timing and the snowfall amounts, giving an idea of what we're looking at here. Yesterday I talked about that the track of it was kind of lifting a little bit farther northward. It does appear that it's going to do that heading into tomorrow and Friday, which could even lead to a cooler forecast to follow, as a lot of us will be picking up some snow, accumulating snow, and some folks in our area could even see over a foot. I'll have more of that coming up not too long from now.
Elementary school students are helping out a local homeless shelter by donating things for people in need. Fourth graders at Kennedy Elementary School are donating more than $1,600 of necessities to Gladys Ray Shelter and Veterans Drop-In. Student donations include food, blankets, and toothpaste. It's part of a $10,000 grant the school has given each grade level to encourage empathy and service. A spokesperson from the shelter says the kids were more than just bystanders yesterday. And the Bison baseball team stepped out of conference to take on Minnesota in the Twin Cities. NDSU was down by 1, but they put together a rally in the 4th inning to take the lead 3-1. Later in the 7th, Minnesota was looking to take back that lead, but they leave 2 guys on base, and NDSU still led 3-2. Then, in the bottom of the 9th inning, the Gophers hit a 2-home run and win the game 4-3. Well, in the next hour of First News, we're filling you in on events happening around the region today. And Jared will be back tracking impacts of the spring storm headed toward the region. He's tracking where snow will hit the heaviest coming up next.
Healthy Systems USA Spring Sale. Save $200 off our 2-month weight loss program. That's less than $7 per day. Save $200 and lose up to 30 to 50 pounds by summer. Call us today or order online.
This April at Shooting Star Casino Monoman and Bagley. Get ready for a wave of excitement, a splash of big thrills, and a boatload of fun during our Catching Cash giveaways with nearly $70,000 in cash and prizes. Play daily to win cash every Sunday up to $2,500. Then reel in the grand prize, $1,000 cash and a Suntracker Bass Buggy Fishing Pontoon on Sunday, April 28th. We've got action that floats your boat. StarCasino.com.
Okay, let me know if you need me.
It's about more than how you got here. The best laid plans, the maybes and the might have beens, the what ifs and what nows, the endless decisions. All that matters now is that you're here, in this place, with these people. All that matters is this moment, when everything changes.
We decided to go with Bathfitter after doing a lot of research.
Yeah, we loved how they could install a new tub right over the old one without tearing our bathroom apart.
Yeah, what we didn't expect was to be blown away by the quality. And that's what happened. They showed up in the morning, and by the end of the day, we had this absolutely beautiful new bathtub. It was better than we could have even imagined.
And it's guaranteed for life.
I actually love our bathroom now.
You too can have a bathroom you'll love. Call now or visit bathfitter.com.
For 50 years, Cracker Barrel has been making folks feel right at home with meals like home-style country fried steak, Grandma's Sampler, and our signature chicken and dumplings. So come on home to what you love. Come on home to Cracker Barrel.
You're not holding it by the legs, are you?
No, I'm not. Gorilla Glue.
Of course.
Gorilla Glue is incredibly strong and versatile, even outdoors, for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Healthy Systems USA Spring Sale. Save $200 off our 2-month weight loss program. That's less than $7 per day. Save $200 and lose up to 30 to 50 pounds by summer. Call us today or order online.
Dana